It's Monday morning, and Father Pat is with us. And good morning, Father. I was in a restaurant with a friend last night, and there was a TV on in the background, and it was playing some award show. And if I was a visitor from a foreign land or an alien space invader, and I came into that restaurant and was watching that television program, I would have think that the people on that awards program had just accomplished the greatest thing in the history of mankind. These awards and these trophies and the tears and the adulation, and I would just think that's the pinnacle. But that's not what Jesus taught when he taught us what greatness was all about.
No, and that's what our gospel this weekend was all about, is that Jesus set a different standard, and he tried to communicate that to the apostles, and they had a hard time understanding it. They had a hard time getting it. So, we've been throughout this liturgical year, we've been reading from the Gospel of Mark, and the Gospel of Mark starts out by with Jesus, showing who he is, that he is the Messiah, that he is the Son of Man, that he is the Son of God, uh, and the apostles struggled to get that, and finally Peter confesses, no, you are the Christ, you are the Messiah, and then he goes into telling them what the implications of that it is. We heard that in the gospel a couple of weeks ago. He said, look, okay, the implication of that is I'm the Son of God, and the Son of God is going to go to Jerusalem, where he's going to be persecuted and crucified and raised again and raised from the dead. And this last week, yesterday's gospel, Jesus predicts this the second time. And, he had told them that look, it's not only that the Son of God has to be persecuted, but that you are going to be persecuted, that any of my followers are going to have to pick up the cross. And he predicts his passion again the second time. And, the apostles just act kind of oblivious to it. And they go off and they start arguing about who's the greatest, and, who's going to get that position of honor, and, who's going to win that big award, who's going to do that thing. And Jesus is like, stop, you're just not understanding this, that you've got to be like a little child, and that you've got to, the one who's the greatest is the one who reaches out to help that child, the one who reaches out to help the person who's defenseless, to help the person, to help their neighbor. And that's where real true success comes from. And, it really goes against our culture, goes against, our instinct. Our animal instinct is that, the king of the jungle, it's the one who's the most powerful, the one who gets, all these accolades and all of that. And Jesus is like, no, true success comes from the cross, comes from us making our sacrifices. And in my letter in the bulletin this last weekend, I suggest that starts at home, that, it starts with that humble service at home, reaching out to our children, reaching out to our parents, reaching out to our siblings, to our neighbors there in our neighborhood, in that humble service. That we've got to continue to recognize what God is calling us to, and it's not these big grandiose things. It starts with just the simple little actions, right? That St. Therese, the little way, just doing those loving actions day by day, and that's where the real theology of the cross comes into being, right? That it is just those small sacrifices, reaching out in humble service to one another. That's what the true message is, and it's an important message for us to see this weekend. Mm-hmm.
And it's a good message for us to hear as we start yet another week. Father, I know we have a busy October just around the corner, and we'll have all sorts of information on how you can be ever more reminded of this message of Jesus by participating in all that we have that's coming up in October.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Our new family faith formation program will kick off this coming up weekend. So we're going to be busy this week getting ready for that and getting ready for all of the exciting things we've got going on in October. So stay tuned. We'll have more about all of that.
Thanks, Father. We'll visit with you later this week.
All right.
Bye-bye.